Hey, welcome to this new episode of Ask a Black Dad.
Wait a minute, wait. Look, we have free merchandise.
Before we get into that, remember to hit that notification button and to make sure you subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and share it. Now back to the merch. Listen, if you like some of this free merch, let us know. If you comment and share this video, we'll put you in a raffle to give away this free merch. If we use your question on the air, or on the show rather, we'll give you a free shirt. You like this, don't you? Cotton to the breed. So remember, if we use your question, you automatically get a free shirt. If you want a chance to get a free shirt, please comment, share. And if you want a free shirt anyway, just email us. We might send you one just for the heck of it.
Ask a Black Dad.
With that being said, let's start the show. So with this episode of Ask a Black Dad, we received an email and we want to answer it. You've seen us cook, you've seen me talk about my life, and this is kind of the heart of the show. We try to answer questions that you may not be able to ask somebody else, or that you may not have access to somebody who you think can help you answer that question. With that being said, my co-host, woman, my wife, if you could read that email, please.
Sure. It says, Dear Ask a Black Dad, I am a white mother raising 2 black children. At what age should I have that talk with them about policing and African Americans? And what should that talk look like? Love your show, and special hello to woman. Cheers. Cheers to you. Thank you very much, Laura.
All right. With that being said, I appreciate the fact that Laura reached out to somebody that she says that may have this answer. And one of the best things to do is admit you don't know something. You know what I'm saying? That's the first step to anything, you know what I'm saying? I always tell people, if you want to get married, talk to somebody who's married. Talk to somebody who's been, don't have your single friend tell you about relationships, you know, stuff like that. With that being said, there's several things to have this conversation. I think it's important when you have black children or children of color, period. And first we got to understand, how do we kind of get here? And it works on 2 levels. The first one is that with the building of this country, we understand that how race works. I'm going to show you 2 sides of a coin. The first side says that if a white man and a white woman have a baby with any other race, black, brown, yellow, whatever, if that white person has a baby with someone who's not white, that baby is automatically disqualified from being white. That was done so the fact they wanted to keep a pure, you know, keep the white race pure. Now you take that and flip it on its head to the coin. If a black woman and a black man have a child from any other race, that baby is considered black, no matter what. And that was used in the case for slavery, that no matter what, that baby could be put in slavery, then the baby could be put in Jim Crow situations. That's what that's used for. So you have this 2 systems working where white is a pure, you know, we trying to keep white pure, and black is dirty somehow, and it contaminates things. So remember that. 2, we remember how police were formed. Police were formed because of slavery. They really were. Police were brought about to either catch runaway slaves, to prevent slave revolts. And then when Civil War ended, Mr. Jones, who owned the plantation, he couldn't have slaves no more. But somebody got to pick that cotton, somebody got to pick that rice, somebody got to pick them vegetables. So what they did was they came with this system where they would just round up black people and say, okay, you violated the law or something, so for your punishment, you got to go work on Mr. Jones' farm for free. But to round them up, what do you need to round them up with? To help enforce them laws, you need police. So we have to understand how the police came about. And that system is ingrained in us. The fact that we look at different colors one way and another color different way, and the fact how the police came about. So before we can get in that conversation with our children, like me and you did, the first thing you have to do, I hope that everybody's doing this with their children, you have to build your child up with love.
That's right.
Respect for itself, him or herself, and it have to give them some kind of hope. If a child has hope, love, and respect, this conversation, which is heavy, will be easier for them to understand. It's going to be difficult, but it'll be easy for them to understand. And you let them know it's not fair. This conversation you're going to have, it's not going to be fair. Life isn't fair. This is one of the first times they're going to realize life isn't fair. And I think you have to have this conversation constantly, like we do. It's like a booster shot.
Right.
You constantly keep giving it to them.
Right, because as they grow, the conversation evolves as well.
Yeah, it's because you don't want to give a big amount at a little age. But I believe that the first time you give your child the conversation about policing in America when it comes to blacks or African Americans is when they're at an age when they're going to leave you and be on their own or with their friends. So that means that when they're going to the store on their bikes, and now they're going to get ice cream, or they're going to the park
or school,
mm-hmm. and they're not going to be around an adult that's going to look after them.
Right.
I think you need to have that conversation ahead of time, and I think that you sit them down. There's two. First, we're going to deal with this one here. Then we're going to talk about when they start driving.
Right.
So the first one is when they're walking.
Mm-hmm.
and like my wife would tell. So what was some of the first things we told our kids when they were walking, mm-hmm. and the policeman stopped them? What were some of the things we told them?
Well, one of the first things we told them to always do is stay calm. I know it's easier said than done, but you stay calm. You don't run. You may want to have that instinct to run for whatever reason it may be.
Fight or flight.
Right.
Fight or flight, and it's in everybody. But as soon as you run, you give people the opportunity to say, well, they ran, so they're guilty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's hard to tell a child to stay calm when he feels that this could end wrong, or this, and he has to be calm.
Right.
He has to stay calm, because we know for a fact there are some people out there that are not good at their job, whatever job it is. So police are the same way. There's some good police, then there's some bad police. There are some police out there that are racist. Then there's some police out there who are just terrible at their jobs. And they have a tendency not to be calm. They can jump, they be all spastic, but your child has to stay calm.
Right.
And not run. That's key. Do not run.
Right. And then always be respectful. Always be respectful.
Yep. Yes, sir. No, sir. No, officer. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It doesn't hurt to say that. And first of all, I taught our kids, we taught them from the beginning, they never called a grown person by their first name.
No.
They could never do that. Right. They could never. They had to call them Mr. Blah, blah, blah. If it was an aunt, somebody, uncle, this, they never could just say, hey, Jim.
Right.
Hey, Fred. No, you can't.
Right. Because police officer is a point of authority at that point. You're not just an adult, but an authority and respect. But always be respectful.
Yeah, always.
Yep. And then first and foremost, but more importantly, unfortunately, we had to tell them this. Always keep your hands visible. Keep your hands raised and out in the open. Mm-hmm. So that way it doesn't seem that you're a threat. Even though you're a child, we've seen it, that you're not a threat.
They don't see the problem with some of these police officers. My kids grew up around police officers, so they knew cops all the time. Cops would come over. They were in our fantasy football league. They knew judges and everything. But we had to tell them that there are cops out there who are afraid of you. And the problem is sometimes if they're afraid of them, or if they just dislike them because of the color of their skin, they do not see them as children.
Right.
They'll see a 13-year-old girl, she's 20. To them, they just don't care. Or they'll be like that, well, she's the next freeway killer or something like that. In their head, they've made their presumption of already who you are, what you can do, what you're capable of. So you have your hands up, or make sure they see your hands, And I always tell kids this, no matter how old you are, if they start putting handcuffs on you, don't go into that fight mode. A lot of people get off me, I understand that. But the problem is we can work out a situation at the police station, or we can work that out while you're sitting on the curb. I promise you can't call me from the morgue. You may not be able to call me from the hospital, So stay respectful. Again, stay calm. Don't run. Be respectful and keep your hands where they can see them. And if the cop you want to de-escalate the situation. We telling our kids this. We have to tell our kids to try to de-escalate the situation. That's a shame, but we have to tell them that. Do what they say do.
But this is a skill that can save someone's life.
It can. It really can. Now, the next part of this is when they're in the car.
Okay.
When they're in the car, again, something I talk to them, and I've done it myself. Sometimes it'll get you out of a ticket, believe it or not. You know, stay calm. Yeah. Again, stay calm. If you lose your cool, that person or that woman or male cop may lose their cool. If you get pulled over, turn on all the lights in the inside of your car if it's nighttime. All the lights.
But be careful reaching.
Be careful reaching. I mean, as you're pulling the car over, turn them lights on. Open up all your windows. Your back windows too. Open them up. Take your hands, turn off that radio. If you have a radio on, turn it all the way off. Don't turn it down. Don't turn it, you know, like as my music, turn it off. Take your hands on the steering wheel just like this. Just like this. When that cop comes up, you to be respectful. Yes, ma'am, no, sir. Whatever it calls for, you're to be respectful. Don't try to be F. Lee Bailey or Johnny Cochran on the spot. You know what I'm saying? If you can get your phone to record, that's good. But it ain't got to be in your hand. It can be recording where it's at. You know, if you have friends in the car, first thing you tell them to do, shut up. Shut up. Don't let nobody put you in a situation where all of a sudden the light is getting switched on that could be the end of your life because somebody else got a mouth. I tell my friends, shut up, be quiet. They put their hands on the back of the seats or they put them on the roof of the car. Let them see your hands. I want to make sure that that officer is feeling as safe as a baby coming home from the hospital. I want him to feel safe. I want him to know I am not a threat to you. I am not posing a threat to you. I am doing everything possible to let you know I want you to go home and I want to go home. That's what I'm doing. Now, again, if it comes to the point where the cop is getting escalated and handcuffs are coming out, again, get off. Let them put the handcuffs on you. Because I promise you, we can get it cleared up on the side of the road. We can get it cleared up in the police station. I can't clear it up in the morgue. Me and your mother, or me and your grandmama, or me and your uncles, aunts, whoever, we can't help you in a morgue. All you are now is on a t-shirt. We can't help you after they paralyzed you. All you are now is a hashtag for us to march. You have to de-escalate the situation that you would think that a professional would do. But some of them aren't professionals. They don't like you. Some of them don't. And some of them just can't do their damn jobs. They're just terrible at it. But we have to do what we have to do to make sure that we get home safe and sound. And if that makes making sure that this woman or this man who has a gun feels safe and secure, then that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? The reason I tell your friends shut up, because they be like that. Man, I wish he would tell me something like that. Man, say that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Come back home to me, the way we send you out. So Lord, when your kids first start walking away from the house and they're unsupervised as far as an adult, you make sure you have this conversation with them. You let them know it's not a fair conversation. Because I tell my kids all the time. I constantly tell them this sometimes. Remember who you with. Because especially because my friends, my kids have a lot of white friends. And sometimes they're the only black in their group. And I tell them, you can't do everything they do. Everything they say, you can't say. And Lord, be on the lookout for just situations where, you know, it hurts my heart to tell you this. Your kids can do everything right. And God forbid, it won't be enough. There's times like that. You know, they'll do everything right. And for whatever reason, somebody is ready to go 110 and do something to them. You know, watch the teachers who are around them. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll try to destroy their sense of smart, their sense of worth. You know what I'm saying? They'll fall into stereotypes and promote stereotypes with your child. Watch family members around them. They'll try to destroy their self-esteem, their worth. But as long as you keep planting in that child is worth something, that child is valuable, that child is beautiful, that child is loved, and that child has special gifts only God gave him or her, and it's up to them to develop it. Being born black don't make you special or number one. It doesn't. Being born white doesn't make you special or number one. It's what you do with that talent and that gift that you're given that's going to make you number one. Not because you were born this way and daddy gave you some money or mama gave you some money. That didn't make you special. You know what I'm saying? You just happen to start the race maybe a little ahead of other kids. And to all those kids who are listening to this and looking at this, remember, if nobody else is going to tell you this, we love you. We want to see you come back home. We want to see you live your life. We don't want you on a t-shirt. The only t-shirt we want to see you on is a family reunion shirt with your name on it or something, that you was there. That's it. We don't want to see you on a t-shirt. We don't want to be seeing people march down the street. Don't run. Stay calm. Defuse the situation. I understand it's very stressful when somebody's got a gun or something in your face. I've been in that situation. And I thank God that I was given this talk. And remember, Lord, and other mothers and fathers out there, you have to talk to your kids, not just once, not just twice. You have to keep indoctrinating them with this so they understand what to do and when to do it. You have to let them know that every policeman isn't their friend. But you can teach them that there are police that are good, and they can learn it. One of the things I taught my kids when the police used to come to the school, and they say, hey, you want to look at the police cars and stuff? I told my kids, you better not ever get in the back seat of a police car. You don't belong in the back seat of a police car. Don't ever get comfortable in the back seat of a police car. Do not let your friends, especially your white friends, see you in the back of a police car, even if it's just a joke, because the optics are terrible. Don't let a policeman cuff you and say, here, no. Only time I want to get cuffed is if the wine's been flowing and it's a late night. That's it with women. That's it. Other than that, I'm not getting cuffed nowhere. But we teach our kids this, like I said, this pride and self-esteem. You know, God willing, they'll grow healthy, happy. They'll give you grandkids and everything that you want them to have in life, they'll have. With that being said, remember to follow us, subscribe, hit that notification. If you like this video, please share it. And with that being said, don't forget the free merch.
Free merch.
Free merch. And take care of yourself and take care of each other.
And also, Laura, if you have any additional questions, feel free to email us back at AskABlackDad.
At Varno Harris.
What's Harris. That
again? Email us at Varno Harris at AskABlackDad.
Oh, it is your show. It is your show, right?
Yes, it's my show.
It's our show.
It's my show.
We gotta change that email.
She said cheers to you. She said cheers to you. So
cheers, Laura.
So with that being said, until we see you again in a couple of weeks, remember,
we love you.